So I welcome you again, this time to part 5 of the 7-episode series about the Betmaster Tool. I'm just roughly trying to give you an idea, an introduction to the tool, where it comes from and what it does for you. And it is just amazing, which you may notice after a while. Now we have episode 1, which was the idea of this tool. Episode 2 was the basic mathematics. Episode 3 was this calculation methods. Part 4 was the simulation function. Part 5 now is the maintenance of the evaluation of the teams or the participants of sports event, which we are in here right now. Then there's part 6, in which we introduce the basic statistical functions, or there are lots of statistical functions to improve what we do. And part 7 will be on the results that the tool produces. So we go into the maintenance of the strength, which I'm very often being asked, and I still wonder what makes this understanding so difficult, whereby I hope I can put it into easy words and make you understand. Every ranking you have has to be maintained. It's not for the sake of you would like to see some movement, but it's for the sake of you have to adjust because you are not getting everything right. So you adjust because you say they are better than I thought, or they are improving, which is also a very important thing. Maybe a young team or a young player, and he's just improving, so the team are getting better, in fact. And this is reflected in the results. So I have to update. I have to keep going. I have to take every result into my calculations. Very often the results are not in line with the evaluation. So this is just simply the truth. And so we have to adjust and try our best to get that right. Very often also the results do not match with the effort, very obviously. And still we have to look at every single result and make use of it. Evaluate it or use it and adjust our strengths. Also, even if there was an unlucky loss or so, it still could mean you are still your confidence is lower or so it has this kind of impact on you. Also the table will contribute to how you feel. So if you team are on top, although they had been lucky, they still feel like we are top, so they maybe repeat these efforts, although they got there by luck, but they can maintain it. So you have to adjust. In sports betting, though, I mean, if you have those rankings in chess or the world ranking in tennis, for example, they are not with the intent. They are not made with the intent to have good predictions. Still, people look at them and study them, and they think, oh, those are the rules, and that's why he's here, and this one is there. But it's not made with the intent of having good predictions. It may be dropping off also because they are not silly, but they are not done with the intent. What I do here is done with the intent to beat the betting market, to get those things right, to get the probabilities as close to where they really are as I can. And to beat by betting market, we have to compile those chances better than anyone else. Better than the one we are fighting with. So we need to make sure that our adjustments are reflecting the real abilities, not to make people smile or happy and say, oh, I'm ranked first, although he doesn't belong there. So I have to make sure this is going to work. What we have to make adjustments is always the predicted value we had compared to the value that really occurred. And for this purpose, I have been calculated before the games, which is the basis, well, they all belong together, but I'm basically compiling the goal expectancies, and from these I derived are the probabilities for all the possible outcomes in all areas, in all markets people are betting on. But those goal expectancies I have, and compared with these I have the results. So if I expect in this example 1.75 to 1.24, and the game is going to end 1-2, so they scored just 1, the other scored 2, then I have this difference between what I expected and what they really scored as the adjustment potential for the two strengths. So the one team played like 0.75 goals worse than I expected in their attack, while the others have been 0.75 goals better than I expected in their defensive. So I have to update these two values. They may be better in defensive, the others may be worse in attack. I do not know, either one is driving it also, but I only can take this as an average for all the games. It's a general thing I have to do, and thereby making sure I'm not exaggerating it and I'm not making it too low, the impact. And the factor for this is the update factor. So from these 0.75 goals that are between what I expected and what occurred, from this I can take a certain percentage or a certain value, a quotient of this into my update function. So every result will change the settings slightly, and you even can determine your own update factor within the tool. Of course, I have to do this. I'm offering one for you, so if you start with the tool, you have one basic settings, and they are intended to be decent, but there are reasons why you would change this, and you have the option. And you can also, football can change, or the way things go, that teams develop a lot faster also, so you would like to have this update to go faster, so have more impact from the result on the settings of the teams. And one important thing to notice is that this is just an assistant function, automatically done by the tool. So you always have the chance to manually adjust your settings, right? If you see a team losing 0-1 and they were really dominant, you like them, then instead of making them worse with a 0-1, you could still say, no, they are so good, I like them, and you even raise them in your ranking. You always have the chance to adjust this manually, and this is just assistance functions that I'm providing, which are on a regular level. Of course, I'm doing this regularly always in the same manner, but you have the chance to always manually adjust when you think something is going too slow or things are changing. Also, if a team lose their best player, you would still maybe adjust manually. No, they are not that good anymore, and so on. But this automated update is already very valuable, and it's running well, and it's not exaggerating, not making it too slow, but still everyone has this chance. There is, for example, there's the option to say early in the season I react quicker because I'm not so certain about my settings. So you say I set this update factor a bit, the impact a bit higher of the results, and later I make it a bit lower. There is in chess, there's something comparable, just to tell you that my idea, of course, is not new, but people do not care so much about it to make it right, or they try to, but they are not bothered, which I am. And in chess, you would call it the k factor, which is in the elo function and so on. But it means, for example, for young players, you have they introduced a faster update speed. And so they noticed that there are this kind of individual too, right? That can be depending. So if you have a young team, for example, you expect quicker developments also, right? Also that in lower leagues maybe you could react quicker because you say, well, they are all more or less the same. But if someone starts rolling, then he keeps going, right? So you say, make it a bit quicker. And then we always have the chance later to compare with the statistical methods, of course, how well we did in general. So there's still the chance to improve even on that. Okay, anyway, so thanks a lot. I'm maintaining it. I'm doing it pretty reasonably. I have to do it. And still there's the manual chance to adjust things if you know better, or if you have a better idea. The general approach is, of course, needed. It's a given. It's also needed to do it automatically, because you wouldn't like to watch every match day. Oh, I think they are better, they are worse. So it's done automatically, and you still have the chance here or there to adjust it. Thanks anyway for watching, and I hope you enjoy it. And of course, I hope you enjoy the usage of the tool, which will really get you good results in the long run. The sooner you start to learn, the sooner you will profit. Thanks a lot. Bye bye. See you.